All right, Marissa, let's take a look at your paper. MLA citation first, which everything looks good here. Everything looks good here for your roller coaster. Okay, so here's my biggest problem with your introduction. You basically repeat yourself sentence after sentence after sentence. It was best of times, it was worst time. Roller coaster has ups and downs. Some days are hard, other days are good. Some days get worse, some days have amazing experiences. Some days broke you down, some days build me up. Challenge me, but provide me with adventures because I've gone through good and bad. So you've literally repeated the concept of the quote in every single sentence of your introduction. So here is what I can think about. Um, yes, I understand that people go through good times and bad times, but this is exactly what I didn't want you to do as a thesis statement. I don't want you to just to say, I've been through some good times and I've been through some bad times, and this is, you know, shape me who I am today. No offense, Marissa, but that is such a cliche for what you really need to get to with a message. You've gone through these events. They've been terrible, they've been good, but they had to have taught you something about life. Whether it's about perseverance, whether it's about doing what is right, even when everyone's against you, I don't know. But it's got to be better than this. And you've got to make sure that every sentence is not just one long repeat of the other thing. Well, a couple more things. High school is 2 words, so make sure you put it 2 words. Make sure numbers up to 11 are spelled out. My high school experience was exactly that, 4 years of time, so this would probably be like a colon right here. Uh, so fix those little errors, but it again, you're repeating yourself over and over again in that paragraph. You got to make sure that it's original and new and exciting. All right, Marissa, as we look at your freshman year, couple things that I really like about your writing. Number one, you have a great writing voice. I think I probably told you this last paper too, but when I read your paper, I can really get a sense of you reading this paper almost to me, and I really enjoy your voice. You don't use the most, big words in the world, but I really enjoy how you phrase things. I can really hear your voice, and so that was really good. So I really appreciate that. Number two, you do some reflection in here about how you started to rethink. Although I think this was kind of in the moment. I don't know if this is necessarily you looking back on those events now, or maybe looking back and going, "Gosh, why did I skip class? It was so stupid." Like something like that is more reflection than kind of what you were doing down here. But at least you're trying to do that, which a lot of your classmates didn't even bother. So kudos to you. Make sure that period is inside the quote too at the end of a sentence. So you get down and the end of your freshman year on March 5th, you and Zeb forever together forever. Uh, but I liked the end part here, which is good. High school again, 2 words. Need a stronger transition though. I mean, this is kind of freshman year was history. Uh, Anyways, I think you need a stronger transition here. I think that's a pretty weak transition. But think about, very close. Is she close or not? Do you need very in here? My very first official date. Again, do we need very in there? So go back through and look at how that is worded. Again, I want you to have a stronger topic sentence as well, something that is really going to set up what this paragraph is going to be about. You really need to look at comma conjunction errors. School days seem to drag on forever, comma, and I felt like um, you need it. There's a couple of instances of that, down here. To save myself from losing complete connection with my friends, comma, I decided I need to get a job. So really go back to some of those comma errors and what you're doing in here. She told me that's life. Do like a semicolon, cap, sorry, comma, princess. So fix that when you're talking. There's a direct address princess there. This blows me away. $1,000 to get out of a contract. Oh my gosh, Marissa. I would like you to reflect on that because that is something that you need reflecting on and how completely and utterly ridiculous that is. Um, so this one doesn't have whole lot of reflection in here. Uh, when you think about not making friends, could you reflect back on that? Your job at KFC, can you reflect back at that? So on and so forth. Was going to have the most amazing year? Well, that's what I thought. Again, can we have a better transition than that? I think your transitions are really weak in here. All right, so you get into your junior year. I don't have a strong topic sentence yet. So remember Zeb 2, so comma 2, make sure that when you have 2 like that at the end of the sentence, you have a comma there. You have a run-on sentence here. You need a semicolon right there probably for that, or add in that. The few moments of my junior year was so smoothly that it was a dream come true, or add something there. Go back and reread some of these sentences because I think you'll understand where you're messing up. Just like not capitalizing Saturday, whereas at the third Saturday in April, uh, comma conjunction errors there. As the training began, my phone began going off like crazy. You could even add a right there's your like, add a simile right there that makes sense. Began going off like a lunatic. I don't know, something. We could fix something in there. Comma conjunction error. Anyways, lots of errors there. So you get down to the part in front would be 2 words, so you may want to separate that. This is a great detail, even though it's disgusting. It's a great detail. Sorry, comma Danielle, I have to. This is direct address. The tears down the cheeks. That's a good image as well. So you have a lot of good imagery in here, which is important. So maybe she understands. Which this is a pretty big tone shift right here, which again, not exactly sure you want to do that, but kind of relates to the idea at the end here of you being a goofball full of laughter. But anyway, so you watch him graduate, and then you get the tattoo. When I got home from the tattoo shop, comma, I looked at the fresh ink. So anyways, a couple of errors there. And again, you're just kind of wrapping everything up. I don't know if the organization is off or what, Marissa, but I really feel like you're not really doing what you should be doing with some of this organization as far as putting things where they belong, and how are you separating ideas? Are you still reflecting on these events? Are they relating to your thesis statement? You've gone through good times and bad times, that's fine, but what is your overall message? So you don't have that overall message yet, so I really think you need to work on that as you keep progressing in this essay. Alright, so now you get to your senior year, which again, the dialogue is fine, and I like that you use dialogue, and I think you use it actually really well, but I think it breaks up the paper a little bit. It really is reading more like a narrative instead of a reflection essay, which is one thing I told you had to balance a little bit between, because you couldn't just tell a story. You had to make sure that you had a narrative. Don't make me cry, comma, mom, semicolon here. I need to have a mean mug walking to school. Anyways, make sure that you fix all those errors. You got a ton of them in here that you really need to look at. So you talk about how great your beginning of the year was, and then going to your boss and her telling her your bad news. I know I'm one of the favorite teachers, Marissa. You could have said it out loud. It's not a big deal. Anyways, so you go on and talk a little bit about again, very, keyword of the very, doesn't really, this is a quote, but I bet she didn't say very. Maybe she did, I'm sorry, maybe she did, but, so anyways, go back through and figure out where you're having comma conjunction errors, where your organization is weak as far as making sure that you're reflecting on these events. You're losing my dream job, not losing your dream job. Seems like that's a homophone rule we went over. So make sure that you fix that. Again, comma conjunction errors in here. You have very again. I love that you got to keep your job. I think that's a good. And again, I don't mind that you had good things and bad things happen to you, Marissa, but the fact that you're not reflecting on it, the fact that you're not thinking about all these things, the fact that you're not going, wow, this is what it taught me, that every time I have a setback, a little miracle happens that, makes me realize something, and that's what you go back to with all these cases, because you do that a lot in here, the idea that, you do have these setbacks, but things happen, and you do get what you essentially want, or think that you want at least. So I think that's important to talk about. So anyways, focus on that. uh, I really like this line. This is a really hilarious town line. Getting into diploma town, I think that's really funny. So that's again is your voice, and that's what works well in your paper. This works much better as getting towards the end of your conclusion here. Remember, I want a strong thesis statement first, then jump into your main points, which you do here. And then I think this ending is weak. Even though you're trying to use voice, I think it's really weak. It's not original. It's not anything mind-boggling. You want to make sure this is all the way over here. You did not use this book. I guarantee you got it from the internet, so you need an internet source there as well. So make sure you fix that. So Marissa, not bad voice-wise, but again, we need much better organization and much better message overall.